Hillary Clinton may have lost this election, but the biggest loser, it may just be the mainstream media who just really never saw this coming. I mean, you think about the final weeks leading up to this election, and the liberal media, they kept saying over and over and over again that there was no path to 270 for Donald Trump. You know, here at Fox Business, we said it was going to be tough, but we kept telling you over and over and over again, don't count him out. One, it's just wrong to do that as a member of the media because you don't call it over until it's actually over. But two, there were paths. We said they'd be narrow, but there were paths, and it turned out there were quite a few of them. So how did the mainstream media get this one so wrong? Why is it that they are so out of touch with how voters really feel? For more analysis, I'm joined right now by Dan Gainor from the Media Research Center. Dan, they really got it wrong. They got it wrong big time. And I kind of wonder if they were solving for the equation. In other words, they wanted an answer. They wanted Hillary Clinton in the Oval Office. They wanted this to happen. Do you think they just thought if they kept reporting that it was going to happen, that it would?
Well, I think there's some of that. We ran a campaign all this year, don't believe the liberal media. And apparently people didn't believe the liberal media. They didn't listen to Hollywood. This is a full-on repudiation of the elites in news and entertainment. The people who said either vote for Donald Trump or blank you in videos like Hollywood celebrities were doing. And the media who kept turning this into not a discussion of issues, but only discussion of polling, and it turns out that a lot of people weren't polled the way they wanted them to be.
Dan, ain't that the truth, right? I mean, people were afraid to say what they really thought. I look at the media sometimes, and you know, I have certain views on this, having worked at different organizations and seeing over and over and over again just how absolutely liberal the bias is. You know, a lot of different reasons for it, I suppose. You get a lot of English majors that, you know, feel like we need to be moving increasingly towards a socialist type economy. But, you know, for us business reporters out there who know that less regulation and lower taxes are good things for business, are good things for the economy, I think that, you know, at least we understood a little bit more about how people were feeling outside of these bubbles of New York City, outside of Los Angeles, outside of Chicago. Do you think this is a wake-up call for the media? Are they going to start to change?
I think it should be a wake-up call for the media. They're tied into this New York, L.A., D.C. axis, and they act like nothing goes on in the rest of America. They don't want to cover people in their faith. They don't want to cover people in their jobs. They don't want to cover the impact of these climate regulations, how they're devastating coal states across the country.
I have a theory. I don't think they even understand it, Dan. I don't think they understand economics. And as a result, they shy away from these things. They don't understand why you just wouldn't lower taxes. They think, you know, why not just make government bigger, 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 keep taxing more? They don't understand that at some point you're pushing on a string. And they choose not to understand it because, you know what, Dan? It's complicated.
We took an economist to a Society of Professional Journalists event years ago, and he spoke to a room about 27 journalists. The first question he asked was, how many of you had training in economics or business? One person answered, and he laid into them. He said, how can you cover this when you don't know anything?
Well, you know, hopefully they're waking up because they sure did. They sure got this wrong. It was an amazing thing to see there last night. Dan Gainor, thank you very much. Good to have you here, sir.